Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second episode of A Ch- Pack. I am your co-host, Kyle, alongside legendary Drew Blazer. Drew, nice to talk with
Yeah, nice to talk to you. Got some stuff to get into here. Took a while,
you. Oh,
but
absolutely. It looks like we're, yeah, but it looks like we're starting this week off the same way we started our last one. That's discussing Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder.
yeah, yeah, let's do it.
We're a little behind on discussing because we didn't podcast last week when all this went down. So let's start off with the fight happened. Great fight. After the fight, Deontay Wilder came out and said he never got hurt once in the fight by Tyson Fury, and says the reason he lost is his costume that he wore to walk out. Said that he didn't have a chance to try it on till the night before the fight and didn't realize it was going to be so heavy. And that after the batteries and everything were installed, it was over 45 pounds and his legs were tired when he got into the ring. What are your thoughts on that, man?
It's just childish, Like, just accept what happened, and instead of making all these stupid excuses like a little child, like, oh, the costume had dragged me down, and my opponent did no damage to me. It was just all because of the costume. Are you kidding me? You know?
To me, that's a little ridiculous. To say that the class that Tyson Fury put on isn't Deontay Wilder lost is just absolutely asinine. Deontay Wilder lost fair and square in that. Could his legs have been compromised by a heavy costume? Yeah, sure. I believe that is possible. I believe that's why he lost? Absolutely not. 100% no. And that he wasn't hurt is also ridiculous. That man was bleeding out of his ear and out of his mouth.
Yeah, and it's just complete disrespect to not give your opponent any credit, you know?
It absolutely. But I feel like we see a lot in fighting. It's always, I had the perfect training camp. I'm in the shape of my life. I've never felt better. Oh, well, this happened, that happened, and that happened. It wasn't the best I've ever had. No. It's never, you're never going to be in the or in the cage, whatever, depending on the sport you're talking about, you're never going to be in there at 100%, and neither is your opponent. You want to know why? I can tell you this as someone who's trained before. Amateur boxing, as you know, I've had jiu-jitsu competitions. When you are just training day to day, you're not going all out. When you are training for a camp, no matter what it is, you are going all out. You are going to get hurt, whether it's minor or major. So to use that of any kind excuse is ridiculous, because guess what? Tyson Fury probably had some undisclosed things going on.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just I respect that what he was doing. He said, I wanted to do it for Black History Month. That's why, and that was first and foremost in my mind. I can respect that. It is an important thing. But to then use that as a crutch and say that's the only reason you lost, I can't stand that. Because if you go back to the first, it didn't go much different, buddy. The only difference is you didn't get knocked down in the fight.
Yeah.
Fury outboxed Deontay Wilder discussion. But now he used that excuse. His head trainer does not agree with the coach that threw in the towel, although I personally did, and 95% of people did. Deontay fans seem to agree that it was the right call.
Yeah.
They have invoked the rematch clause, and we will get the trilogy fight July 18th. Is it too early?
I don't know. It might be.
To me, don't get me wrong. I'll be tuning in.
Yeah, I mean, regardless. Yeah.
I think it might be a little too early.
Yeah.
I don't think that Deontay Wilder is going to get better enough in these next, 4 months?
Yeah. 4 months.
To put up a fight against Tyson Fury. Because you also got to think, what happened to his ear? Was it just a cut? Did he sustain like an actual injury to his ear? We don't know. We haven't heard.
No idea.
Say Tyson Fury did bust his eardrum. Well, it's going to be a while before Deontay can.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't get
that. That's.
I mean,
I understand the booking of the immediate rematch. And to me, another reason why you don't book the immediate rematch, majority of people believe Tyson Fury won the first fight, even with the knockdown. Tyson Fury handily defeated him in this fight. Deontay Wilder was not in this fight for a second. And they did not reach the break even for pay-per-view buys. Talk about
No, that's true. Yeah.
the even pay-per-view buys was they needed at least 1 million to 1.5 million pay-per-view buys. They got an estimated 800 to
And
850,000.
that honestly surprises me. I thought it'd be a lot more. I thought it'd be at least $1 million.
So too, this was the boxing match of the decade to me.
Mm-hmm.
There's no denying it. But now let's do a little calculations real quick. So the pay was $79.99.
Oh yeah.
Break even was they did 800,000. That is an estimated $15.9 million that they fell short.
Wow.
So do you realistically want to book this fight right away, or do you want Deontay Wilder back up? To me, as a promoter, Deontay Wilder back up and make this a bigger fight. I think the right move is to put Tyson Fury against Anthony Joshua next. Get the undisputed heavyweight champion round. And being realistic, watching his fights with Andy Ruiz, Anthony Joshua not beat Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight in the world right now, and he's going to prove it again on July 18th.
Damn, son. You're on a roll.
That is my wholehearted, honest opinion. But now, I do want to bring up an interesting point about Deontay Wilder as an excuse, and that is, I'm a big UFC fan. I've trained in mixed martial arts for years, and that is what Dana White had to say about it. I think what Dana White said about it is it's kind of polarizing to some people, and a lot of people don't necessarily agree with Dana White because of the Reebok deal. But let's go ahead and change the subject to Dana White real quick.
All right.
So Dana White, when discussing this, being that he's a longtime boxing fan, previous boxing manager, and he's trying to become a boxing promoter with Zuffa Boxing, he was asked about it, and he said, if you think about boxing, and when fighters are getting ready, they're in the back relaxing. Some guys sleep, some guys just lay around and chill. Then you get up, you time out, and you do your warm-up. Then you throw something on to stay warm. You don't put all this gear on and all this.
No.
Why? And now language warning for our viewers out there. That's why I don't do any of that bullshit in the UFC. I don't like it. I don't like any. I've seen a lot of people, and of course that'll never happen in the UFC because fighters have to wear Reebok mandated stuff. I won't disagree with the whole Reebok mandated stuff and how it affects fighter sponsorship and, how much money they're making. But here's something to keep in mind. Do you disagree with him? It's ridiculous to allow fighters, when they're heading into a legitimate fight, to have almost WWE-style entrances. Costumes and the get-ups.
It's ridiculous. Like, this is serious stuff. This isn't scripted WWE. This is real stuff. So, no, you shouldn't be messing around with all that. You should be focused on winning.
To me, Tyson Fury's entrance was even overboard.
Yeah, it was, but,
Don't get me wrong. From an entertainment aspect, those guys knocked it out of the park.
Oh, yeah.
But Tyson Fury being carried out like a king, which, by the way, I saw WWE Super Showdown. Baron Corbin did the exact same thing, which I think is amazing.
Yeah, see, I walked out of the room when Baron Corbin came out, so.
And he Twitter and used the Deontay Wilder excuse for he lost Reigns, which you read it, it's hilarious.
Oh my god.
But staying on subject, Dana White, to me, I think I'm sure going to be people that disagree with me, but to me, I think Dana White hit it out of the park in this one. And I'm the first one to say when I think White's wrong. You've known that over the years. I've messaged you about stuff constantly, like what the F is Dana White talking about on this one?
Yeah.
But to me, Dana White this one. It's absolutely asinine before a fight to be doing.
No, I don't think too many people will disagree with him. So.
Now, something about Dana White I haven't brought attention yet. That was Dana White's Instagram video earlier today.
God.
He went on Instagram Live on a phone call with Tom Brady.
Oh.
Discussing the fight Tom Brady. Tom Brady's a big UFC fan, and he was a subject last week, and that's why I bring it up now. Dana White, as I mentioned to you last, New England native, big New England Patriots fan, lifelong Patriots fan, now lives in Las Vegas. Said that Tom will be playing either in New England or Las Vegas next year.
Oh, yeah.
He put Brady on the spot on the.
Of course he did. I wouldn't expect any less from Dana.
He said, now, Tom, he said, as a New Englander, I want you to stay with the Patriots. He said, but let me tell you something. You need to come to Las Vegas, but come play for the Raiders. And he gave him a sales pitch on why he needs to come play for the Raiders. So I'm going to say it right now. And, of course, Tom Brady played all coy and was like, I'm exercising with this. I know everybody wants to know, but I'm doing this right. I'm doing that. I'm trying to take my time with this discussion. I think Tom Brady the Patriot, going to the Raiders. I really do. I saw Julian Edelman. I can't remember what it was at. It might have been at the Combine, but they were filmed and they were sitting next together. And Julian Edelman went, he's coming back. He's coming back. And Tom Brady let out this awkward, what the hell are you talking about, dude, kind of smile. I think he's leaving, and I think he's going to the Raiders.
It'll be interesting. When do you think we're going to actually figure that out? When?
Man, I would think it'll be before the NFL draft, but I honestly don't know.
I hope.
He's taking his time.
Wow.
But, I mean, the Patriots, you're definitely hoping for the NFL draft. Because if he's leaving, you know whether or not you need to try and get a quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. Unbelievable.
Man, well, changing away from boxing / NFL to the NBA, let's talk about the Pacers. We've been talking about how much they've been struggling to return to them, and how much to get adjusted into the lineup again. But man, Pacers are on a 4-game winning streak now, and he had 15 19 back-to-back games, not his game as much. I think Victor Oladipo started stride.
Yeah, you had to give him a little bit of time to warm up again, and we're seeing that. So yeah,
absolutely. I think one of those couple games the I think once from that mentioned bouncing rap, we beat Hornets by 30 points.
Oh wow.
So I don't think we've got Hornets winning streak. They are the Bucks tonight. So good chance that could to an end.
Yeah.
But I think they're hitting, and I think you see that regular season, that closing time and playoff.
It's coming up real fast, and hopefully the Pacers can at least get the 4th spot, or at least maybe the 5th.
I would like to see them in the 4 or 5 seed. If the playoff today playing the Boston Celtics, why do the Pacers always get paired with the Boston Celtics? You go back to like the early 2000s, back when we had Ron Artest, and they had and it was Paul Pierce and Antoine Walker. We were playing the Celtics almost every freaking year.
Yeah.
But another thing that needs to be talked about with the Pacers is the fact that Miles Turner has put the game-sealing 3-pointer against the Blazers, and then Cavs.
Oh yeah.
Miles doesn't get credit for the role he plays with the Pacers.
No, he never seems to really. And
I think he's a phenomenal asset to our team.
You think that maybe they might try to trade him or keep him around?
I think they're going to keep him around. I think the Pacers organization loves Miles Turner. There's been him getting for years, and the Pacers have been steadfast not making that happen. I don't see it happening.
Yeah. I hope not.
Not too, but I don't see it happening. Now, the hot ticket that everyone wants to talk about in the NBA right now is Zion Williamson versus LeBron James.
Yeah.
Two phenomenal games, by the way, within a week of them playing each other. You know, the first game, LeBron had Zion had 29. Lakers won by 9 in that one. And then the second game, Zion had 35 and 7, and then LeBron had 4 and 13. Man, is there any chance that somebody could argue that we are not watching LeBron James, the best player of this generation, versus probably the best player of next generation?
Oh, exactly. That's exactly what it is. That's him.
You've got to. The only other person I could see you arguing for that spot is Giannis.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
But just and another thing is LeBron James. It cannot be understated. Is in his 17th season, 35 years old. It is ridiculous what this man is doing.
All that mileage that he has, all that time, years.
And it doesn't show. That's the scary part about LeBron James. It doesn't. Now, granted, the Grizzlies did just beat the Lakers by, 17 points the other night. And the Lakers are now 2-0 against the Pelicans with Zion Williamson playing. I still want to see the Pelicans get that 8th seed.
Yeah.
I want anywhere between 4 to 7 straight games of Zion versus LeBron.
Oh, yeah.
Now, what I think is interesting, I want to get your take. So you heard me just there. 5 and 7. And Zion shot 12 of 16, which is impressive. LeBron had 34, 12, and 13. What do you think of the fact of, I've seen quite a bit of people saying that Zion outplayed LeBron despite the fact that they lost?
No, I don't know about that. I mean, I don't. I mean, the kid's really good, but I think people maybe overplay it a little bit.
I think for him the struggle he's going to have is the unrealistic expectations of the media and the fans.
Yeah, it's just calm down and just enjoy it.
Enjoy the ride because he's only going to get better.
Yeah, he's 19, right?
Yeah, he's only 19. That's another thing that needs to be talked about. LeBron James, yeah, he's 35. He's in his 17th season. Zion Williamson is 19 years old and hasn't even played 20 games in the NBA yet.
Yeah. He missed the first part of the season, so yeah.
And he scored 20-plus points in 10 straight games. He's the only teenager to ever do that in NBA history. Keep in mind, LeBron came into the league at 18.
Yeah.
And he is the only player in NBA history to do that.
It's incredible.
Zion Williamson is the future. There's no disputing it. He is not better than LeBron. He is not better than LeBron James right now, and he's not outplaying LeBron James right now. Give it another 2-3 seasons, and I think that when they match up, he probably will be.
Yeah, completely agree.
But it's going to take time. Yeah. Now, I did also see, after the game, LeBron gave Zion some words of encouragement, and I saw people saying that he needs to not do that. It's a sign of weakness. Did you see LeBron James' response to that?
Yeah, but go ahead and say it.
So LeBron responds to people saying he needs to stop mentoring the oh, that light thing didn't work. Sorry, I was adjusting the lighting. LeBron James' response to people saying he needs to stop worrying about mentoring your generation and showing signs of softness. He said he's going to continue to do it, and he said, and you can tell them to kiss my ass with a smile, too.
Legendary, as usual.
Absolutely love that, by the way. To me, why not pass your knowledge generation? The only reason people are seeing it nowadays is how much social media there is. You think that didn't probably happen back in the 80s and 90s? Maybe not as much, but I guarantee the older guys were still motivating the younger generation. It's also a different time.
Well, just like how, Michael Jordan probably did it with Kobe.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He said Kobe was his little brother.
Big deal, Why does that matter?
And to me, there is only one person in the world, not just in the league, but in the world, that can understand what Zion Williamson is having to deal with, and that man is LeBron James. The only one. So why would he not help him?
Yeah.
He's been that teenager with lofty, he's the next GOAT expectations. That's what Zion's dealing with right now. LeBron is the person who should be mentoring him.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Now, this is an exciting year for the NBA. LeBron James is freaking phenomenal, which, by the way, a point that was brought up. Someone said LeBron basically traded Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, and Josh Hart to the Pelicans for Anthony Davis and then beat them without Anthony Davis.
Yeah. Savage. Unbelievable.
That absolutely savage. That is that is unbelievable. It cannot be understated just how phenomenal LeBron James is. And you know me, I've never been a LeBron James basketball fan. So I know that when I'm giving him credit, it's for a reason. I will never take anything away from LeBron James as a player. He is the best player of this generation.
Yeah, and of course, there's always still going to be the haters out there, too, that just don't get it.
There always will be. There was for Michael. There was for Kobe.
Yeah.
There is for any great player.
I'm sure there's some for Zion out there, too.
Oh, of course. Zion has so many haters. There's all the people that want to see him fail. And I think it's the society we live in. We live in a society where if you see someone that's that successful and has that much potential, people want to see them fail because people can't stand to see people that are doing better than them in life.
Yeah, that's really sad.
It really is, but that's truthfully what it is. If you think about it, think about how many times you see someone, just in a smaller example, someone gets a promotion at a job. How many people automatically start hating that person at that job?
Oh, screw you. You think you're better than me? And yeah.
And they were just cool with that person the day before.
Yeah.
That's how it works in life. How it works with LeBron James and Zion Williamson and Giannis and James Harden, all of them.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of Giannis and James Harden,
yeah,
the beef going on between these two is kind of interesting. So, we saw last season where that accidental pass that Giannis flung drilled James Harden in the face. I'm sure you've seen that infamous clip. That seems to be where their beef started. But when asked why he wasn't going to take it, he was trying to decide between Trae Young and Kemba Walker during the All-Star draft for his starters. And the question was posed to him, well, what about James Harden? And he said, no, I want someone who passes the ball.
Just simple joke,
Just a simple joke, which obviously was a joke because James Harden's averaging, 7 assists a game?
Yeah.
And that was what James Harden said. He was asked about that, and he said, well, I average 7 assists a game, so I don't know what that talk was about. He goes, I average more assists than him. But then it turned into he was talking about, his playing style. And he said, I wish I was just 7 foot tall and lanky and all I had to do was drive and dunk because that takes no talent at all. I wish that I could play that way. That was clearly directed at Giannis. What are your thoughts on the beef? And what do you think of that quote by James Harden? How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I think it's just dudes just taking shots at each other. And I think probably the media is just blowing it out of proportion as they usually do.
Well, yes, that's definitely true. I disagree with the assessment of not needing any skill, by the way. Look at Giannis's playing style. There's a lot of skill there.
Just because you're 7 foot tall doesn't mean that you can just do everything. You got to have skill. You got to have talent.
Exactly. I mean, think about all the tall guys in history that didn't do what Giannis does.
I mean, look at Giant Gonzalez in the WWE.
Oh, my God.
But you know what I'm saying.
No, I get your point.
Just because you're tall.
That was why I said, oh, my God. Yeah, just because you're tall doesn't mean you don't need skill.
Mm-hmm.
In the NBA, there have been several tall players who have absolutely failed because they had no skill. Giannis is a very skilled player. Also, I find it funny, it takes no skill to just drive and dunk because you can just do that because you're tall. But his 6'3" teammate, Russell Westbrook, that's his style. Drive and dunk.
Oh, that's a great point. Yeah, it is.
Think how many highlight dunks that man has.
Yeah, you're right.
Also, he wasn't on the schedule for today, but can we talk about how phenomenal Westbrook's playing right now?
Oh,
yeah. This has got to be his best season since his MVP year.
Yeah, exactly.
And their team is more efficient since they got rid of Clint. They switched to small ball.
Drop the dead weight, I guess. I mean, I hate to put it that way.
Well,
but...
someone said you could almost argue with Russell Westbrook's playing style, maybe rid of the big center cleared up the lane for him. The lane might have been a little bit too clogged up, and it could have been affecting Russell's playing style. He's playing better since Capella left.
Yeah. Wow.
Also, I'm not one to take credit for things, but have you seen how the Clippers have been playing lately?
Oh, no.
They've been dominating games ever since I said they weren't consistent enough. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Kyle McGee is responsible for the success of the Los Angeles Clippers, and you cannot deny that.
Oh, come on now.
That is an undisputed fact right there.
Sure
They have
is.
been unstoppable since I made that proclamation. I motivated them, and now they're going to do bigger and better things.
Yeah, they just need.
No,
They,
in all seriousness, they've been doing phenomenal.
yeah. So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, no, it's an exciting time in the NBA with the playoffs getting closer. I will say our discussion last week seems like it's holding up. I think the Magic and are going to hold on to the 7th and 8th seed.
Oh.
You got to feel bad for Bradley Beal, though, right?
Oh, I felt terrible for him for a long time now.
Yeah, well, now I feel bad for him because, he dropped the 2 back-to-back 50-point games, and they lost both those games. The other thing is, people are insulting for how loyal he is. Think about that for a second. His loyalty is what's being insulted at certain times. Remember when that was a good thing all those years ago? Where you stuck with the team through good times and through bad?
Yeah, it's not like that anymore because I think people they see how teams treat players, like I've said before, so they think players should just treat the teams the same way. So
Yep, but then if he goes to a winning team, he's going to get called a coward.
You can't win. I mean,
You can't win. You absolutely can't win. Bradley Beal is an absolutely amazing player, and I think him being on a losing team is a travesty. And there's been reports that the Mavericks plan to shoot for him in the offseason to try and form a big three with Kristaps and Luka.
Oh, man. Yeah, I already like the Mavs as it is. If they were to have him.
There's also been talks that if they can't get him, they want Andre Drummond, and it's believed Drummond is not staying with the Cavs.
Yeah. No, I don't think he will. No.
I don't think so, and I don't think that they could go wrong either way there.
No, not at all. Either guy would be fine.
Absolutely. Well, we've talked about Zion Williamson. We've talked about how much we want to see the Pelicans and Lakers in the first round. As of right now, if the playoffs started today, it'd be Grizzlies and Lakers. So, Ja Morant, lock for Rookie of the Year, just off how much Zion's missed?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, you can't give it to a guy who's only played 20 games and will ultimately play, how many? 30 or so?
Probably 30.
No.
Now here's my question I pose for you. Does Rookie of the Year truly matter this season?
No. And maybe I shouldn't say this, but to me, I don't think it really ever matters. Really.
No, historically it doesn't. I mean, it truly doesn't. And the other thing to think about is the reason I don't think it matters is let Ja Morant have Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
He's done a phenomenal job. Zion Williamson is the better player.
Oh, yeah.
And he will be the better player.
Yeah.
Now, I meant to cover this when we were talking about him a minute ago, but since Zion started, that starting 5 rotation they've had has played the third most amount of minutes of any starting 5 rotation, and they have the highest plus or minus of any starting 5.
Oh, wow.
Their plus minus as a starting 5 rotation is plus 74.
Jesus.
They are the best starting 5 rotation in the league right now since Zion debuted. And they keep in mind, like I said, they played the third most amount of minutes together. It's not like, they've played the least amount of minutes together out of every starting 5. If that was the case, then, they just had a few good minutes together. The third amount of minutes of any starting 5 during that time period.
Oh, David Griffin. There you go.
Let's talk about how much better Lonzo Ball's gotten this season alone, but also since Zion Williamson came into the team.
Yeah, I think that's helped. Have.
I mean, they lose to the Timberwolves last night, but they had 8 players in double digits, and 3 or 4 with over 24 points.
Wow.
Ball had 26 points last night.
Is that a career high? Maybe close to it?
Probably close to it. I'm not 100% sure.
But yeah, regardless, pretty good, impressive.
Yeah, I think John Morant will win Rookie of the Year by default, but we all know Zion Williamson's the better player of the two and will be as far as career goes.
Yeah, in the long run.
Now MVP. I don't think it's a big race this year.
No.
I think James Harden is not in the discussion as much as he should be.
Yeah.
I don't think Russell Westbrook is either. But it's Giannis or LeBron James. Who do you have winning it and why?
Oh, put me on the spot there, Cal.
What we're here to do.
I know. I would say Giannis, I think. The fact that they've only lost 8 games, and I know the Lakers have only lost, 13 or something?
Correct, 13.
But I think Giannis is like the centerpiece of the Bucks, and I think maybe I said it on the last video, but you take him out of the Bucks, I don't know if they're a playoff team. I might just throw that out there.
It really is hard to say because they are efficient with and without him. I think they're still a playoff team because they are in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, but would they be number 1, you think?
But they would absolutely not be number 1.
No.
I think they would fall anywhere between 5 to 8.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Now, keep in mind, Lakers are probably the exact same way without LeBron, maybe even worse. But
well,
Giannis is currently on track to have the highest player efficiency season of all time. Not this year, of all time.
Wow. See, there you go. Enough said right there.
He's barely averaging 30 minutes a game right now. So I'm going to look up his stats for you right now. And let's listen to this, okay? So let's pull this up. For this season, Giannis is averaging 30.9 minutes a game.
Wow.
He's averaging 29.6 points, so let's just round that up. He's averaging 30 points a game. He's averaging 13.8 rebounds, so again, 14. And 5.8 assists, so 6. So let's look up his per 36 minute stats. Or I can accidentally type per 35, which tells us nothing.
Excellent.
See if I can pull this up. I saw it earlier. I believe it was, I want to say it was something crazy like per 36, he would be averaging something along the lines of like 36, 15, and 8 or something like that.
Yeah.
I can't get it to pull up right now, but I mean, LeBron James is not coming close to that numbers-wise per 36. And he's just playing just shy of 36 minutes a game.
Yeah, but, either guy, well-deserving.
I think it'll be deserved either way, but to me, I think it is clear-cut Giannis. Yeah. He's averaging a combined 2.1 blocks and steals per game. He's a monster on defense, something that, for the most part, you can't say about LeBron James. I see him kind of just step to the side a lot on defense, and that's something I've seen for years. Giannis is definitely on there at defense. He's going to make the all-defensive team. I think it's a clear-cut Giannis victory, but LeBron James shouldn't be, undervalued because of that.
No, not at all.
Not at all. But yeah, interesting times in the NBA, but even more interesting times in the world of professional wrestling.
Yeah.
The world of WWE. So we've got our Universal Championship match set for WrestleMania, and I know you and I both have strong feelings on this.
Oh man.
Us the possibility of this on the podcast last week, but boy was I hoping it wasn't true.
There we go.
So we've got Goldberg versus Roman Reigns. Boy, a lot to digest right there.
Yeah. I mean, just look at my short little video I made. The reaction.
Yeah, you summed it up perfectly. It just takes a jackhammer that looks kind of like a suplex meets a hip toss. And a few spears, which, by the way, the videos that I saw looked horrible as well. And that's it. I don't know. I think they ruined all that the Fiend had and will have
And by,
with
and by
this.
the way, I guess all you have to do, if you're Roman, you can just come out and say, I'm next. And then.
That bothers me, okay? So the Elimination Chamber match is now meaningless. I mean, don't get me wrong, you got the women's stuff, and that's great. You got the tag team titles. But Drew McIntyre had to eliminate 13 men to get a shot with Brock Lesnar. Roman Reigns just has to come out and say, well, I'm next. Well, that's enough for me. Can you imagine if that was all you had to do in fighting?
Well, see, that's what seems to happen when they have two world titles. One, it seems like you got to go through a bunch of obstacles. And then the other one, it's, sometimes they just book it kind of easier.
The other question is, did WWE just do this because they knew the fans were going to hate it either way, so they just got it out of the way?
No, I think so, exactly.
I think it was so much of a foregone conclusion when Goldberg won the championship that why even bother with the Elimination Chamber? Let's just forego that and just announce it.
We all know who's going to win, so, well, give them respect for that, I guess.
We all knew who was going to win. Fiend was still champion. But I guess with Goldberg, it was a foregone conclusion. And you know me. I grew up watching WCW as a little kid. I loved Goldberg as a kid. I was there at WrestleMania 33. I thought that was an amazing match with him and Brock Lesnar. It was just a slugfest, and I thought it was great. That should have been it for Goldberg. This is horrible booking. And I've flat out told you I will not be. I'd say I'm 98% not watching WrestleMania because of this.
Yeah.
It's not just this, but this was kind of like the icing on the cake for me.
No, nobody can really blame you, really.
Not to mention, are we really booking a Universal title match based off let's find out who has a better spear?
Yeah, so the title's just kind of there.
Title's just kind of there right now. Title's meaningless. Goldberg's a transitionary champion. I don't know if maybe they just didn't want Roman to take it off the Fiend or what, but there you have it.
Yeah, and by the way, there you go. Enough said.
I did see this online, and I absolutely love that. Absolutely love it. And he probably feels that exact same way.
So this is actually legit, right? You think?
That picture of him holding up the seems that way for sure. He's been very outspoken on social media lately, so I wouldn't put it past him. I know he kind of blasted WWE for not including Michelle McCool on their on women thing.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Did you see his tweet? Michelle McCool kind of went off about the fact that she was excluded from it, and they updated it, and they were like, and look who we added, and they tagged her. And The Undertaker, who, by the way, it is his actual Twitter, replied and said, too little, too late. Unbelievable.
Oh, Taker.
He's been outspoken. Last year when people were talking about how it wasn't WrestleMania without him and how he should have been there, he actually replied to a fan on Instagram and said, I was told I wasn't needed.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
He's been very outspoken. I think, as loyal as the man is, I think he's not afraid to be outspoken at this point against the company.
Well, yeah, he probably shouldn't be. I mean,
and I think he's more willing to do it now because I think he is probably fed up at this point.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but no, Goldberg versus the Roman Reigns is a big 0 out of 100 stars for me. It will take a lot for that to be a good match.
And how long you think it's going to be? About 45 seconds?
I think you get the initial domination. I don't give that match more than 5 minutes.
No, not at all.
I truly don't. I don't give it more than 5 minutes at tops.
And especially with them having like 18 matches on the card or whatever it is.
It's going to be a very high amount, that's for sure. That's for sure. Meanwhile, AEW is doing everything right as far as I'm concerned. We didn't have that plan to discuss, but I didn't get a chance to watch the pay-per-view, so I don't think it would be right for me to try and discuss that on the podcast. But everything that I've seen, everything that I've heard, They knocked it out of the park. AEW, as far as I'm concerned, is 10 times the product WWE is right now.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, everything they do, it's just, it makes sense. It's simple. It's not random crap that makes no sense, like this picture here behind us. Yeah.
That's the thing that needs to be discussed. The plans for WrestleMania, one of the world championship matches at WrestleMania, was changing from day to day.
Yeah, they had no idea what to do. And
They didn't make up their mind till last Wednesday. The Saudi show was on Thursday. WrestleMania, this is your flagship show, the show that you book out months in advance. How are you not sure?
I don't know, man. I don't know. And brings us to this.
Yeah. Here's my thing. I'm acting upset about this, but don't get me wrong. I love the idea of this match.
Yeah, the match itself, but go ahead. I'm sure I agree.
It came at the expense of Bray losing all his momentum. They had finally built this man back up. He was an unstoppable monster, and they decided they wanted Cena versus The Fiend, and they wanted Goldberg versus Reigns, but the title had to be on Goldberg versus Reigns. It kind of reminds me of 2017.
Oh, yeah.
Jericho and Kevin Owens was going to main event the show. But Vince decided, no, this Goldberg-Brock feud, it needs the Universal Championship, Chris. It's such good shit.
It's so great. All the fans care about that so much.
It's part of the reason why Jericho decided to leave. He felt disrespected. He said, not only did we lose our main event spot, we were put second on the card. Not even first to open the show and get the crowd hot. Second.
Yeah, I would say second's probably even worse than first.
Here's the thing. If you're not on last, you want to be on first.
To set the tone.
Yeah, second is almost kind of a forgettable spot in the night, realistically.
Yeah, no, it is.
It means your match doesn't really mean that much. But they did the exact same thing here. Well, we want to do Goldberg versus Reigns now, and Goldberg versus Reigns needs to have the title. To me, The Fiend is clearly being set up to get put over on John Cena, and John Cena is coming back to put Bray over and kind of give him what he owed him back in 2014.
But, I mean, that could have been the title match.
Yeah, if The Fiend's going to win, why wasn't that the title match?
I mean, Cena could have been like, oh, I want to get my 17th title reign, or I don't know.
And you know what you do? You have John Cena win the chamber match.
Yeah, see, he earns it.
Have him earn it.
And then you go ahead and have Roman in the chamber match, too, and he loses.
Yeah, he loses.
And it's not predictable.
It's not, because everybody would have been expecting Reigns to win at that point, even with Cena returning.
Yeah.
And to me, I don't think Reigns versus Goldberg, A, needs to happen.
No.
And B, it doesn't need the title.
Not at all. Especially if it's going to just be 2 minutes long. But
exactly. Now, my other issue is the build for Cena versus Bray so far.
Yep.
So to me, the whole, I believe a spot at WrestleMania needs to be earned. I'm not taking it. The almost Mark Henry faux retirement style promo, I thought that was great.
No, that part was good.
What I did not like was how they set up the match.
Yeah, just the fact that he said, oh, I need to earn a spot, or spots should be earned. And then seconds later, he just, oh, yeah, Bray, yeah, we can have a match.
Not to mention, think about the Fiend's character.
Yeah.
He's almost like it's almost like a demon that is possessing Bray Wyatt and taking over him and making him more powerful. He attacks everyone, regardless of who they are, if he's the Fiend. If it's Bray Wyatt, he's, hi, everybody, and super smiley, and he's got the double he's got the double persona. I like that. It doesn't fit the character for the Fiend to come out and to set up the match.
No, yeah, that's a good point I didn't even think about. Good point, no pun intended. That
To me, they just do the point to the sign for the sake of doing it now.
yeah, it's just a running joke. And again,
And
AEW doesn't do stupid little things like that. They don't have to do their stupid little things. It's annoying.
I absolutely agree. The point to the WrestleMania sign at this point is getting so cliche and stupid.
We're all robots. We can't think on our own. Point.
The two dumbest instances of the WrestleMania point in recent memory to me is The Fiend pointing to the sign to set up the John Cena match. Why not have The Fiend attack John Cena?
Yeah, I mean that's what he does.
That's applause enough to set up a damn WrestleMania match.
Yeah, like beats him up and then
Booker T and Edge had a WrestleMania match over a freaking shampoo commercial or something like that. I think The Fiend attacking John Cena is enough to warrant a WrestleMania match.
Yeah. I don't know.
I get the whole story here is The Fiend is looking for retribution for his past, but you can get that story across without a damn point. But the second dumbest one was Ronda Rousey coming out at the Royal Rumble in 2018 and pointing at the sign for no damn reason.
And remember how she did it too? It was like something like that.
Yeah, she went sideways like this and then pointed. And did it 3 more times before the show was over. Did it with the women's champions and the women's Rumble winner, all just so she could have a match with Stephanie McMahon. That does not need to be understated. She took that moment away from Charlotte, Alexa, and Asuka to set up a mixed tag team match with Triple H and Stephanie.
Yeah. When the company has their agenda and they have things they want to do, they just do it. They don't care.
Absolutely.
But of course, I'll still watch anyway. So
I know you will. You can't help yourself, damn it.
It's my medicine.
No, it's one of those to me where this WrestleMania has potential, but I think it's going to fail.
Yeah.
I think Becky Lynch is no longer relatable the way she was last year. I think she's gotten to the point where you can't get the title off of her quick enough.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like she got her neck was bitten into, and then she's just sitting there on commentary on this past Raw, just laughing it up and having her stupid little glasses. And it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, that to me was just, it didn't make any sense. I think they've gotten their hands on it a little bit too much, like they like to do. They take that clay and they've got to mold it the way they want to, rather than just leaving it as it was and being like, you know what, this was good.
Yeah, exactly. So
to me, I think you've got to have Shayna win that belt.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, Becky had her time. It's over. It's done.
Yeah, 1 year is more than long enough. Now, there is one WrestleMania match that I am looking forward to. There's one WrestleMania match that has all the right hype. And that is Randy Orton versus Edge. I can't wait for that one.
Yeah, see, that's actually been built really, the right way.
Let's tease a rated RKO reunion and then immediately RKOing him right after saying it, and then just brutalizing him with the chair, playing up on the neck issues. And then what he did to Matt Hardy, which was a great way to write Matt Hardy off of TV, and they're almost playing up to the Voices theme song of Randy Orton.
Oh, yeah, exactly. They are.
And then the segment with Beth Phoenix on Raw was just an absolute A+.
Oh, she was so good, too, with how she was talking, doing her promo and stuff. Oh, I loved it.
Absolutely. And I said this last week on the podcast. I'll say it again. Randy Orton is the most underrated top talent.
Always has been.
Always has been. He himself, you got to think, they've had Edge out to sell this injury since it started. Randy Orton is building this feud by himself, and it is the best feud they have. It is the best storyline I think they've had. I don't even know in how long, probably in years.
And and it's like when top guys like him are gone, what do we have left to look forward to?
I don't know, because we don't have guys in the modern day era in the WWE that can sell stories like that.
Oh man.
Now last week my a first ever Kyle blockbuster
Yeah.
announcement was that I believe that the Raptors will represent the Eastern Conference. And Ibaka's been out, and they've been letting me down ever since, but I still have hope they could pull it off. I even told you I believe there's a high chance that the Bucks could pull it off. Just something in me believes that the Raptors will do it. This week, my Kyle Buster announcement. Randy Orton versus Edge should be the main event of WrestleMania 36.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
It is the best told story. It has the most fan interest. Goldberg versus Roman should not main event.
And if it does, I'm throwing this TV.
People will be leaving the stadium early.
Yeah. It's like, oh, well, we know what's going to happen here.
Yeah. Now, Goldberg versus Reigns is out of the question to me. It should not main event. Maybe Brock versus McIntyre, which, by the way, Brock is awesome. What he did with Drew on Raw, where he said, pick up the belt.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar is in this to get Drew McIntyre over in the most selfless way, and he's loving it.
Yeah. He must really like him, I guess.
I think he does, and I think it shows. Because he is like all in on making Drew look like an absolute star. He didn't get a single little bit of offense in on Raw.
No.
Not to mention, did you notice that Drew McIntyre is bigger than Brock Lesnar?
Oh, yeah.
This is a believable victory.
Yeah, very much so.
But I could argue that could be the main event because I think that one could be a slugfest if they let it go 10 to 15 minutes. But story-wise and everything, the story of Edge coming back alone, that should be the main event.
Yeah. Well, let's hope they do the right thing.
I think those are the only two matches that should main event this year.
Yeah. But, one thing I'll say about Brock, and no one really ever seems to say this, is, he does do business. Does he not?
He absolutely does. Not to mention, he's one of the best sellers in the company.
So when he makes his appearances, he makes the most out of it. He does what he needs to do.
He does exactly what he needs to do. I think when Brock Lesnar is gone, everyone wants Brock Lesnar gone right now. When Brock Lesnar is gone, people are going to miss him.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
Because you know what? Yeah, does the Suplex City thing get old after a while? Sure it does. But here's the thing. You put him in there with the right opponent, let him work the way that he wants to work, it's phenomenal. And the way he wants to work, from what I've seen, is he loves selling. Look at the way he sells and tell me he doesn't love selling.
No, exactly. Flopping all over.
He loves doing it. He loves putting guys over because he knows it's good business.
Yeah.
Do you think he liked burying Ricochet in 90 seconds? Hell no, he didn't.
No, but if that's what they tell him to do, he does it.
And Ricochet lost clean to Riddick Moss on Monday Night Raw. Ricochet, I think, is done. I think he's done.
Yeah, I would say so. And, Riddick Moss, it's like, who? I don't know.
Yeah, he's been a guy in NXT. If you've watched any Performance Center documentaries, he's never even been on main NXT TV, at least not frequently that I know of. He's been one of the guys that they use as he's kind of like one of the assistants for the coaches.
And nothing against him, but seriously, that's how you treat Ricochet?
Yeah, it was odd to me. I get, I like the idea of making legitimate 24/7 title matches, which is what they were doing, but to have Ricochet, who was built up, made to look huge, lose to Brock in 90 seconds after all that build-up, and then to have him come out and lose clean to someone that the crowd was chanting, "Who are you?" at, you've effectively ended Ricochet's career.
Yeah. He's, I don't know when his contract expires, but...
Oh, he's got years left, and he's only 31 years old.
Well, hopefully they can turn it around for him. I don't know. But, yeah.
I hope so, but I think he's dead in the water for a pretty substantial period of time right now.
Probably need to just go ahead and let him kind of go under the radar for a little bit and come back repackaged or something, but...
He's going to fall into the Cedric Alexander category.
Yeah, and it's like, where's he been?
They gave up on him.
Yeah.
Now, another WrestleMania match I'm looking forward to is whatever they're going to do with the U.S. title.
Yeah. I have no idea.
Because I think the right way to go about it would be a fatal four-way between Humberto Carrillo, Rey Mysterio, Angel Garza, and Andrade.
Yeah, that's the way to go. Yeah.
Make it even better. Let's give them a fatal four-way ladder match.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that'd be cool.
There's no other way of going around it. Now, does Braun Strowman walk into WrestleMania the Intercontinental Champion? We saw this last year where they put the Intercontinental title on Finn Balor before WrestleMania just to have him lose it before WrestleMania just so he could gain it back at WrestleMania. Are they going to do this again?
Oh, man. I don't think so. I think...
Do you possibly see Sami Zayn betraying his clients at the Chamber and then maybe doing something with him at Mania?
I don't think so, but might be interesting to do that.
It's going to be interesting the way that plays out. I think they can salvage this WrestleMania. It's just going to take a lot.
Well, what about Sheamus? Maybe Sheamus should be in the U.S. title match.
I would love Sheamus versus Braun
versus
Strowman.
Braun, that's it.
For the Intercontinental title, yeah. But here's something to keep in mind. Reports are that they're going to be doing Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan.
Oh, God. Yeah, the infamous match.
Not sure what to do with Sheamus and Daniel Bryan. WrestleMania season approaching. Still not sure. Book them together.
Oh, wow. I mean, they could...
If you remember, they were going to do Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30 before Punk walked out.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's their go-to.
Yeah. That's why I say the infamous match. It comes back.
To me, make it fresh. Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan versus Braun Strowman.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Intercontinental title. Have those two be fighting for weeks over who gets the title shot. Have it keep ending in draws one way or another. Double count out. Double disqualification. Like double knockout, you know?
Yeah. I agree.
Like to me, that's the way you do it. But time will tell, I suppose.
Yeah. And time is starting to run out, so...
Time is starting to run out. Well, I think that'll conclude this week's episode of A Chat with the Pack. Speaking of time running out.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we're currently planning on trying to do another one on Friday. So we might see you guys in about 2 days, depending on how things go. Hopefully we'll have some more topics by then. I'm sure we will, because there's a lot we could have discussed tonight, honestly, that we didn't.
True, yeah.
But I think that'll do it for now, and we'll see you guys next time on A Chat with the Pack. Thank you for tuning in.
All right, peace out.